Hello, it's been a long time. Welcome back to my channel, Chaotic Crafting. I am Kim Deason, and it has been a minute. I think I've had 2 moves since the last time I posted something, and I got so excited about the idea of what I'm about to do last night that I decided to just stop so I could share it with you guys. Thought it might make a fun little video. So we have an Ollie's. I don't know if you have an Ollie's where you're at, but we have this Ollie's, which is like discounted pricing. So this book was $22.99. I got it for $3.99. I have found lately that thrift stores are more expensive than just finding a cheap discounted book at Ollie's. If you haven't been to Ollie's, go for the books. You may find other stuff, but go for the books. So I've been wanting to do a musical journal for a long time because I'm a song lyrics person and I love music. Music speaks to me. And so I thought, oh my gosh, how perfect is this to use this book that says Music is My Life as my next altered journal. So I'll show you sort of where I've gotten with it. I love this, love the cover. I will not mess with that at all. I love this. I will probably zhuzh it up, but I will leave this the same. And so my first pages, I have just sort of done what I do. I go in with whatever's close. I use some paint. These pages are really thick and they're matte, so I don't have the glossiness that I'm normally working with the book, and they are taking this media really well. Like I've got matte medium on here, gesso, paint. These are some die cuts that I've glued down. You name it, it's on here. So I have left some stuff to see through, and then after just doing a couple of pages, which I love this page, it says, when you're feeling sad, heartbroken, blue, or lost, cry it out with, and then it's artists who have good like sad songs. So this was Lana Del Rey, and this was Adele, and so I decided to like just leave her eye open. You probably can't see that, but I decided to like leave her which way do I go? This way. Her eye and her face, and she's holding a microphone. But I thought, how cool would that be if I get one of my die cuts? It looks like she's holding like a big flower with a stem. So I left that. I'm gonna make this into a big flower. And I got 2 pages in, was so excited. And then I thought, you know what? Already this book is going to break out of its binder. You can see with just 2 pages how much thicker it is. So one of the things that everyone recommends if you're doing an altered book is to take out some of the signatures. So the signatures are the part that's sewn in. So I started looking, and I don't want to take out any of these cool pictures with the quotes, any of these pages. So I just went ahead and got started and got myself a little bit of a cheat for where I want to tear them out. You'll know when you're in the middle of a signature because of the thread shows up in the middle page. And also if you can lift it and it's all together, then that's one that will be easy to get rid of. If you were to lift, for example, if I were to just tear this page out, then this page is going to fall out because it's on the other side of that page. So what you do is you lift it, and if this lifts up but this side doesn't, then that's not the center. So I went through and looked. I love this page. I didn't want to mess with that. Even though that was a signature, that was a spot, I decided to skip one. I love this one too, so I didn't want to take that one out, even though it was a signature. And what I'll do is I'll take the ones that I'm okay with sacrificing out first, and then if there are some later that I decide I want back in, man, I can't take out the disco ball. Or if later I need to take more out, I'll take more out. So here's another one where I have already started it. It's in the middle, so it just pops right out. Of course, I'm going to use these pages. I'll be putting them back in. Look at these wonderful faces. So I'll probably be using these pages to cut back into it. And I think the last one was maybe Queen. Yep. Okay, so now I've got several pages out of it, so it's a little less thick. It should be able to carry. I just don't want to overload the spine, and when you start adding paint and gesso and of course collage, it gets really thick really quick. So if this isn't enough, I'll weed some out later, but I think this is a good start. So since I've already done a couple of pages, I thought it'd be fun to just do maybe a page or two with you on the video. I like this one. I'm not gonna touch it for now. I may come back to it. This one's sort of semi-finished. I will do something on top of that, but I think I'm gonna skip over a little bit. Okay, so this is a good way to show you what I do. So I love her face. I think this is a good focal. I don't want to mess it up. So I'm just going to grab some of my papers that I have that I use for collage. Some of them are jelly printing that I've done. This is just cleaning my brayer after doing some jelly printing. I may even do some jelly printing in a minute, but I'm just going to start by just filling up the page around her and keeping her outline nice and clean. Let's get a little Mod Podge matte. I have taken some books and just stamped on them. As a matter of fact, I was just testing out some new stamps, and this is sort of one of the ways it's good for a stamp to be tried out first. And this was just something that I do. I like to stamp it on book pages, then I have some interesting backgrounds for my collage and stuff. Easy peasy. Washi tape and I don't want it to go anywhere, I will just pop a little thin layer of matte medium on top of that just to secure it in place, and that was washi tape. So there we go. I love using pattern paper. Fabulous. Okay. So I took a heat gun and rushed the process of drying a little bit, and then I grabbed some other supplies. So one of the things that I grabbed was some gesso. It is, of course, Liquitex is my favorite, but this way maybe? I don't know. Anyway, gesso. I like Liquitex, but there are all sorts of brands out there. It's just it's got good coverage. And I have recently purchased some of Jane Davenport's acrylic paints. They are Brush with Fame. I would tell you what color I'm using, but I screwed up all of the stickers. So now I just have to do a little sample key to let me know which color is which. And then I just keep them in order so that I don't grab the wrong color. So I grabbed some of that because I'm going to work on her. Since I've covered up some of her hair parts, I'm going to put it back. I've got some stamps. I've got some of Jane Davenport's fine liners, which are waterproof and alcohol ink proof. So they're archival. You can use them with anything. So the first thing I'm going to do, since this is pure chaos right now, is knock a little bit of it back with some gesso. And I don't want full gesso. I want a little gesso. So I'm going to water this down. And I'm thinking I might not want to use just white. So I think since, paint boogies. I haven't used this in a while. I think since the background is sort of on the warmer side, I'm going to let a little pink and a little yellow mix for a orangey color in the background without being too worried about it. I don't want to paint over it completely because I love all of this stuff going on, but I do want to make it make sense, and I want her to be my focal point. So I am going to work on, I've got water over here, just a little glass of water over here on the side. I am going to work on just sort of making this blend in a little better. Now that we've got that matte medium on top, this paint will really should really flow right over everything without being too opaque. If it gets to where I feel like it's too opaque, I'm going to wipe it off with a paper towel. And I am getting to where I think I'm covering up more than I wanted to. So the great thing about acrylic is when it's wet, you can do a lot with it. All right, so I like this nice little orangey blend I've got going on, but I am going to just take a regular kitchen towel and wipe over that. So it'll knock down some of the color, and maybe get a little water on that too. So now we've got a very well blended page that's starting to be less chaotic and starting to make a little more sense. And the reason I can wipe this off of her face is because I did coat her face in matte medium as well, because I knew I wanted to start doing some layering. The beauty of mixed media and the curse of mixed media is you got to figure out what products work well together. But I went ahead and painted over her whole face with matte medium just so I would be able to preserve it. And if I do any acrylic or anything on top of it, it should be able to wipe off once it's dry. If I did this while the matte medium was still wet, of course, I'd have a hot mess. And so I'm gonna let this layer dry now. I think I've kind of managed the chaos a little bit. I've liked the texture. I can still see all the words and text and all the interesting stuff that's on there, but it is no longer taking over the page. She is now popping out a little bit to me, and she'll pop out more when I use my acrylic pens on her, but for now I'm going to dry it. Okay, and now we're ready for the next step, which is adding back some details that I've lost when I was collaging on my focal point and when I painted on my focal point. Just gonna look at my little chart here and see. I'm not much of a drawer, so I love cheating and doing this sort of thing. You take something that's already drawn by someone who knows what they're doing, and you have a cheat sheet. Now, listen, I have messed this poor girl up. She was so much cuter before I started messing with her. But the whole point isn't to show how great I can do this. It's just to show how you can take a picture and then sort of make it your own. And plus, this is part of my practice for trying to get better at painting faces and knowing where the shading is. Skin tone is hard, and I struggled with this one a lot, but you know, she's still cute-ish, cute-ish. I like the hair. I love her hair, and I just wanted to sort of enhance what she already had, and I've done that. I've ruined her face, but that's okay too. She don't know. She's not mad. So now I'm going to think about the song lyrics that I want this page to represent in all of my tons of music that I'm crazy about. And as soon as this acrylic paint dries, I am going to put a little bit more details and maybe even some highlights into the hair and stuff. I'm going to do some of these little coffee stain stamps that I got. It is, I have no idea who I got them from. I have been collecting stamps and stencils for years and years and years and years. And so for me to remember who all these come from would be fabulous, but it's not realistic. So I'm just going to get some archival ink. I love the archival ink by Ranger, and I don't know that I've used these before, so it might take me a few stamps to get them working right. So since that's the case, I'm going to stamp it off onto something first to make sure it's going to be a good stamp. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, that one went through. That's all right. I don't ever care. I mean, this is just for me. Nobody's ever going to ask to see my journal. I mean, you know, they're just not. Now, when I die, they'll probably look through it and make fun of me. But when I'm alive, no, I don't imagine anybody's going to ask for it. So I just do it for the pure joy of doing it and the practice and the moment of not thinking about anything else that I get and I enjoy when I am working on something like this. Okay, and so since I did that, I'm going to make it stand out a little better than it is. My favorite version of that is Alanis Morissette. And I'm going to have to look up her name because I can't remember how to spell it. So there's a little black spot on the sun today. My little girl that I totally messed up her face. And around her I wrote, I'm the queen of pain. 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 That's Alanis Morissette's version. It's super incredible. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. And so there is one of my spreads in my music journal. It's going to be all about song lyrics that speak to me. And this is one of my favorite. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.